Well, hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to my little gardening show. I wanted to take you along as I'm getting ready to pot up my cucumbers and squash and melon and stuff like that. Kids are getting ready. We're going to be going out tonight, so they're taking their showers and stuff. Otherwise, I'd have them helping me. But anyway, I'll show you kind of my setup as I'm getting things prepped. Alright, so I went to the little dollar store and I got a bunch of these kind of generic solo cups. These are 16-ounce cups. And we started out with kind of this standard drill bit. I'm trying to think what size it is. But anyway, just drilled a hole in the middle and then came back with a thicker drill bit that's probably more like 1/4 inch. Maybe slightly bigger than that. And went through the same holes so that there's a nice big drainage hole in the middle. Rather than, you know, drilling 4 tiny holes, just drill a larger hole in the middle. Got the stacks up. I've got my painter's tape to label so we could reuse these cups potentially. So I've got a bunch of strips here that I just kind of tagged real quick on here, and then basically picking a strip and putting it on the cup so it's ready to go to be labeled. And each time I do that, just restack them. So super easy. Gonna get that all going, and then we're gonna, I'm gonna fill up these pots about 3/4 of the way with potting mix, and then we're gonna get into these. Alright, so we got about 40 cups ready to go. Let's fill them up with some potting soil. Alright, so I've got 16 cups here in this tray. I'm going to get them lined up. I got them in the wheelbarrow. Some potting soil here. I got some gloves on. I'm going to reach in and then basically just drop a big handful of potting mix in each one. They could probably take about 2 handfuls. It'll go a lot quicker once I start using 2 hands, but you get the idea. So, you know, I'll push it down so that it's got good contact, you know, pack it down a little bit. Alright, that maybe took me like 20-30 seconds to fill all those up once I was using both hands and got the clumps in there real good. Got them packed down. So we'll go ahead and fill another 6. I think I've got enough plants to do at least like 30-32. Alright, so I've got 24 cups here and another, I think, 8 over here, 32 total that we've got ready to go for potting up. We'll start with that and see where we end up. Alright, so the first thing we're going to pot up is the Tokugawa Japanese cucumber. We'll get this going real quick. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we got Tokugawa. We'll try these out. And these have been in for about 2 weeks now. Spread it pretty quick. Starting to get their true leaves. They've probably got pretty good root mass on them. Try to get my fingers around them here. Just break this apart. You'll be able to see. Look like they're root bound or anything like that. That's a good sign. But they do already have a nice little root mass on them, and that's really healthy. They are pretty vigorous. I mean, these are seeds that you could very easily just direct sow. So we've got our cups here, you know, and after I get done potting up a set of these, I'll label them. So we're just going to take the dibber and make a pretty big hole. This potting mix is pretty damp, so it's pretty easy to work with. I'm just going to kind of plop that right in there. I can grab another one here. And you don't need a dibber. I mean, it's just kind of nice. Really anything. You could use your fingers, whatever. Throw that in there, kind of nestle it in. Make sure the roots are covered. There we go, there's number 2. Now this is where I need to kind of select what, I mean these are all healthy, but I got a few more. So I'm going to lay these aside for now because I've got 2 more containers of these that are a little bit further along, especially this one. It's, I got my fingers where they're between the stems here. I'm going to see if I can just massage this out. Gonna break these away. It's funny when you're messing with the plants like this, they actually smell like cucumbers. I'm going to break some of this clod away so we can get it in the pot. That's a nice looking plant. Lay these aside too. I want to get into that last bunch just to see what we're looking at. Here's our last bunch. Again, I'm just going to slide my fingers. I'm between the stems here. I'm not going to squish any, but I'm basically supporting a soil block so when it comes out, just flip it over. I'm just barely pulling these apart. They're just kind of breaking apart on their own. I'm not tearing any roots. This is really looking really good. Look at that root mass there. So I'm going to massage away some of that. Put that down in there. Now one thing I did with this potting mix is I went ahead and added some of the liquid fertilizer before I even potted anything up. So the potting mix already has some liquid fertilizer in it, organic stuff. So I've got 4 potted up. I'll probably do 6. One year I was growing cucumbers and had a bunch potted up real nice. This was at our old house back in Indiana. And cucumber beetles came along, and I guess what makes them bad is they carry like a bacteria or something on their legs or their body or something. But anyway, when they start messing with the plant, they basically infect it, and then you end up losing your cucumbers or squash, but cucumbers mostly they really like. There's all kinds of garden pests. One thing I do, we are using kind of, you know, not completely like organic methods per se. What I really want to do is build the soil over time, because if the soil biology is right, it eliminates a lot of your problems. It eliminates weeds, it eliminates pests, because your plants are healthy, they have everything they need. There's a gal named Elaine Ingram that wrote kind of at the forefront of studying soil science and everything, and basically all the nutrients are in the soil, even like poor soils. The key is getting the right plants in there, because the plants control the relationship. They drive the microbiology in the soil, because when the plant roots are in the soil, depending on what kind of plants they are, they attract bacteria and fungi, mycorrhizal fungi, and create these symbiotic relationships where the fungi actually break down the minerals in the soil, or the soil aggregates particles, so that the minerals are accessible to the plants. And in exchange, the plants give the mycorrhizal fungi the simple sugars that they need. And basically, studies have been shown where these networks can span miles. I guess over in the state of Washington, where they've got these pristine, like conifer forests, they show in the wintertime where those networks grow like all over, and there's linking everything, kind of exchanging nutrients. And then in the springtime and summer, when the other members of the soil food web wake up, like the insects and all that, they start chewing that down and eating it back and recycle all those nutrients. Anyway, all that to say is that I do ultimately want to be heading in that direction, because it's completely sustainable. It's just, again, getting the right plants in place, making sure there's a living root in the soil to continue to attract the right soil biology, so that you can unlock the nutrients in the soil, whatever that soil may be. Cool stuff. Alright, so I'm going to get busy to potting the rest of this stuff up. Alright, so I wanted to show you this real quick, because some of these bigger plants, like this is the Golden Hubbard squash plants, their root ball is a lot larger. It's a lot larger than the cucumbers and stuff, and these were far enough along. So what I did was I gently kind of broke these loose and kind of kept working my fingers until the roots came loose, so I didn't rip any of the roots apart. But again, substantial roots here. What I'm going to do is take this cup, and I'm going to take some of this potting mix. Fill the cup about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches with the potting mix, and then I'm going to drop this down and suspend it. I want to suspend that in the cup, and then while this is lifted up, maybe kind of pull it to one side, but drop some potting mix around the plant, you know, at the level that I want the plant to be at. By doing this, I'm not having to smush the roots into a dibber hole that's too small. The dirt can kind of work its way around, you know, fall around the roots the way it needs to. It's going to be a little bit looser. I'm not going to risk ripping the roots from the plant as I'm kind of nudging it into the hole. Instead, I'm just packing potting soil around it, and then kind of pushing down so that there's contact with the bottom of the cup, so that way when we do set these out in the trays to be bottom watered, they'll actually wick up moisture because the potting mix is in contact with the bottom of the cup to wick it up. So there we go. I've got 3 of these potted up. We'll probably do one more. You know, of the 2 here, I'm gonna go with this one here as opposed to this one. This one would probably be alright because the rootstock on both of these is similar, but because this is further along and just has a little bit more symmetry in the leaves, it's a better plant. So I'm going to toss this one. We'll get another cup here that's got a label on it, and we'll pot up this one. The other thing I thought I'd show you is pretty neat is the yellow crookneck squash. I had planted a pot of these, and none of the seeds, and I had probably about 8 seeds in there, and none of the seeds sprouted. And I had thrown the rest that were in the, it was actually a yellow squash I let dry out completely, and I broke open the shell to get the seeds out. We left it in the garage all this past winter. Anyway, the rest of the seeds I tossed into my little trash can down here, and here's a couple that are still sprouted. What happened was the good seeds sprouted. And so there were probably about 20 plants down in the can there. I went ahead and just picked out the best sprouts and potted up 3 of these. So I've got some yellow crooknecks to choose from. Pretty neat stuff. So we're gonna the extra potty mix too, I'm saving because it's still good. It's still got a lot of nutrients in it and stuff. Putting it back in the wheelbarrow for now. This is what I've got potted up so far. These are some extras that I thought were pretty good. I thought, well, I just kind of let them go just in case. And so some Tokugawa, some straight A cucumbers. Here's another container of straight A's. We had a lot of those at Sprout. They all look real good. We get these potted up. Got this cardboard box to hold up everything I've got so far that's potted. And then once we're done with that, I'll move them into trays like this to get them set up to be bottom water. And we're going to take these out to the greenhouse and start the hardening off process there. I'll put the screen back over the greenhouse on the one side, and then we're going to move some plants outside, I think, later this afternoon. So I hope you guys are having a good Mother's Day. If your mother's still around, make sure that you spend some time with her, appreciate her for what she's done, what she maybe continues to do in your life. If you have a spouse, loved one, and you get children, it'd be a good idea to show some appreciation that way. I know for us, we just kind of decided to spend a kind of more quieter, low-key morning. I made some waffles and stuff, and did some family devotions. My dad came over with my sister and hung out with us for a little while. So we're going to be hanging with Dad here this afternoon, and then heading over to the garden for the evening. But it's been a little bit laid back, more laid back, change of pace, not high pressure, high stress, not all these activities that we're having to go to or do anything with today. Just kind of slower change of pace. It's important to kind of take some time. You know, life is so fast anymore. There's so many demands on your time, especially if you have kids and you know, busy with work, you know, trying to make sure you're doing a good job there, and just all the responsibilities at home, and then all the just obligations with family and friends and things like that. And it just seems like there's just a lot going on, and it's hard anymore to it can be difficult to balance all that and just be overwhelmed by that, especially with having like smartphones and the internet at your fingertips all the time, spending time scanning social media and things like that. I mean, there's just a lot of things that can just consume your mind, consume your thoughts, and there's just no downtime to, or unless you make it a priority, set that time aside. It's just difficult to find time just to process things and kind of do things you enjoy, where you're not having to think about what other people are doing or think about the news or anything like that. Or I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there, anyone who's watching these videos, can kind of relate to that. So anyway, I'll have to say that today's been kind of nice. Just kind of laid back, spending some time doing things that we enjoy, allowing my wife to do some things that she enjoys and not be all stressed out about stuff. So anyway, all I'd say is I hope you guys are having a happy Mother's Day. For those of you who are married with children, you know, hopefully things are going well, and you're, you know, finding that time to just let Mama have some downtime and enjoy things. I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.